Hello, and welcome to session 0 of After Forever After Season 1, Episode 1, Fear of the Dragon Queen. Ooh. So, as I was just explaining to the players, we are going to be using a little web app here to do the card management for After Forever After. So we have a little interface here, which has cards, which you can't see at the moment. And so what the players will all have on their screens is the ability to select a player number with the deck of cards that you list beside it. So basically, you've all got to choose a different player number and then hopefully keep that player number for the whole season.
Could I have Earth, given I'm going to be casting Earth stuff?
Okay.
That seems to
So
make
that
sense.
has been chosen.
I was going to go fire, if I can have fire then. Makes
Okay.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah, water for me.
So, Ronnie?
Well, as Earth, Wind, and Fire seem to have gone, there's a 70s band for you.
I have written some air spells. I haven't finished the list, but there's certainly enough for character gen.
I thought I would take the solid deck.
The solid deck, okay.
Because
okay.
You know.
So have you all done that and you're all in, yeah?
I can check it, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Steve.
Oi, Steve.
Okay.
Then
what
Steve.
I'm going to do, now you're all in. Yes, hello, Steve. I've already been chatting to Steve in the chat before you all turned up because you left me alone.
Apparently, yes.
In fact, I even wrote this message here. Every minute they delay is one more troll on the first bridge they find. And
Blame Windows 10.
That was 15 minutes. So I'm now gonna deal everyone a hand of cards. So hopefully they won't see anything on the spectator, but I see on my screen you've all got cards, which is good. So we'll go back to this view for now because we're going to do character gen first of all, and hopefully, and the players will rib me here, but hopefully you've all now got version 3 of the character sheet.
Yes.
Not version 1,
yes, I do.
not version 2, not version 2B, not version 2C.
Or version 4.
There was no version 4 yet.
No, that's the point.
Yeah.
Don't make her angry yet.
I did make a last-minute change to the game system, which unfortunately does mean you're all vulnerable to more damage. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yes, Stephen, what Becky's not telling you is that yes, there was version 1, version 2, 2B, and 3. What she hasn't told you is that there was version A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z, X.
See, I get ripped on for luck, and you get ripped on for versions of character sheets.
Then there was the ones that were just, they weren't a version number, they were just the date, like Windows.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So your character sheet, in fact, what I can do, I can actually share the character sheet on screen so that people can see what that looks like. Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Super cool.
There we go. So here is, 2 pages of the character sheet. So, first of all, as those of you who read the primer know, you have started off in a realm known as Imperia. Now, Imperia is basically an old empire. So it was like a Romanesque type empire of a big world. And then 1,000 years ago, the world blew up. Your empire used to be larger than the size of what is left of the world. You are on a fragment of the planet that is hurtling through space at the speed of light, which is illuminated and warmed by the explosion which destroyed you because you're moving at the speed of light. When that explosion happened, dragons, 2 dragons specifically, entered the world. One is the Queen of Moraine and the other is her son. Her son has fucked everything in Moraine, pretty much, even though it's a city of 1 million plus people. And so now there are all these blue bloods running around. Blue bloods are basically people with dragon blood.
I've got to say, he's got some serious stamina then if he's managed to fuck that many people.
He's a dragon.
He is a dragon, yeah.
That's some stamina.
He is quite prolific. Anyway, one of these blue bloods has recently married your king. Your king is brazenly and openly bisexual, has a male lover as well, a concubine. And you live in Imperia, which is a the capital of what's left of the empire. Most of the world fragment has left the empire and declared its independence, and the empire as is that you live in is broke. Like they got no money, and their entire economy is dependent on the trade in a drug called nostrum. Nostrum is a life-preserving drug, or that allows you to live longer, and it basically turns you into an elf. But the longer you take it, like after a few hundred years, it's also highly addictive, by the way. But after a few hundred years of taking it, your features become a bit more Nosferatu-like than elf. You become more wrinkled and gnarly, and your features become sharper.
Is this
and
nostrum
pointier.
a tablet or is it powder or
It's
liquid?
a flower.
Flower.
It's a flower.
Beautiful flower, yes.
Yeah, it's a pink flower that grows in the Ahirian domain, which the Empire has had to fight wars with in order to secure its nostrum trade. And now there's a peace treaty where you farm the north side of a river and the Ahirians... Oh, no, sorry, you farm the south side of the river and the Ahirians farm the north side. And it's all a big disagreement and tense and stuff like that. But anyway, if you read the primer, you would know that the last two nostrum boats didn't arrive. So the Imperial Heart was due to arrive 9 weeks ago and did not. The My Fair Princess was due to arrive 5 weeks ago and did not. And the Celestial Wind was due to arrive a week ago and it is overdue. So anyway, that's the setup. We're now going to create characters. So Jason has decided to go with a centaur because centaurs do live locally to, well, the capital. If I pull the map up and change my screen share here, share screen on, one of these. I can't tell them apart. Hang on, not that one. That one. There we go. Boom. So this is the capital city of Imperia. This is the old capital. That was a capital when the world ended, and that's just a ruin now. And this forest here is called the Free Folk Forest. And that is where the centaurs come from. So as you can imagine, there's quite a lot of centaurs around Imperia. That is just a thing. And Jason is playing one of those. I assume the rest of you are going human, but you can be a centaur if you want.
No, I was thinking of going human.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Okay. So if you are human, you have a mortality of 2. If you are a centaur, you have a mortality of 3. I know it said 4 on your thing, babe, but I made it 3. I've changed the system tonight. Because...
I assumed it was a change.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. So that is the first thing.
Stephen, this will be interesting because I expect, like the prize fighter game, we could see tweaks mid game.
You could a bit. I mean, I have done some playtesting on this previously. It's not the first time it's been used. It's not certainly the first time I've done it online. But this time I'm trying a brand new... Well, I've rewritten the weapon system, which I've nicely printed out here on my brand new printer. I've come up with a new wound system, which is why I had to rewrite the weapon system. And I've just written a new magic system to cope with it as well.
That's why I had to rewrite everything.
Yeah, and I've thrown away the character gen stuff that I had, and we're just going to spend some points instead. So your mortality is the number of major wounds you can receive without dying.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh yeah, this
So
is
that
quite
is-
brutal.
This is 2 major wounds, basically, for most of you, and 3 for Horsey McHorseface over there. Your character name, you can obviously write in what you want. Your home settlement, well, for 3 of you, it's Imperia. For Jason, it's the Free Folk Forest. If you're from Imperia, you can choose a religion. I did send out a document with the religions on if you want. If
I
not,
was
I
going
can
to
cover
ask
them.
if that applied to me, but if it doesn't, that's
Not.
fine.
Well, you could if you really wanted, because there's enough... Centaurs are close enough that they can integrate to Imperial society if they wish. So you can do if you wish. Brief summary then. There is the Church of Chancellousness, the Heart Mission, which are a bunch of fascists, the Draconic Faith, Temple of Sarlan, the Penitist Commune, the Bathhouse of Healing, the Trinity Church. Oh, and that's it. That's all I've written. So those are the religions that are local to this place. Religions are, of course, geographic.
I think I'll go with the Bathhouse of Healing, since you said that water magic is based on healing.
Sure. So let me read out the Bathhouse of Healing. You may change your mind.
That's perfect.
Now, just to clarify, because I do use this word in the bit I'm about to read out, in Imperia, a prostitute is perfectly legal, and they're usually referred to as concubine.
Yeah.
So, the Bathhouse of Healing, the greatest collection of clean concubines in all of the world.
All right, I changed my mind.
Whoa. Abundant wine from the most expensive vineyards, and the freedom to bathe in the magically infused healing waters found at the base of the old Saarland Tower just off the market square. What's not to love about being one of the 12 chosen disciples of the bathhouse? Apart from the selection criteria, that is. When a vacancy opens in the 12 disciples, either through death or unanimous vote of the other disciples, it is awarded to the person whose yearly 20,000 imperial crown stipend has been maintained the longest without fault. But there's also a black ball system operated by the remaining disciples. Each week, one of the disciples preaches a sermon, which is usually just marketing for businesses they own. And faithfuls believe they increase their chance of not being blackballed by attending regularly. Others often refer to the bathhouse as the madhouse. So would you like to be a paid-up member of the Okay, fine.
That seems fairly...
It's wonderful if you're one of the 12 disciples.
Yeah.
Nope.
If you're not.
I was going to. Sorry.
No, you go, Phil. I'm still kind of reading it through.
I was thinking for Saarland.
Where was that? Let me see. Temple of Saarland. The most powerful wizard who ever lived before the fall. The temple is in Imperia and seeks to study the great works of Saarland so that his powerful magics can be recreated to repair the world. Disciples studiously learn from his diaries and spellbooks in an effort to unlock his magical powers. In reality, many of the spells can no longer work because the elemental winds are weaker since the fall. So yes, they're people who study the diaries and spellbooks of Saarland and occasionally go out to try and find more works of Saarland and stuff. So yeah, that's the thing. So if you want to be a disciple of Saarland, you absolutely can. You get no pluses or minuses, it's just a role-playing thing.
Maybe the Penantist commune, but maybe not. Also,
Penantist commune. Yeah.
The fat redistribution thing at the end of that.
Fat redistribution?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So the Penantist commune. On the outskirts of Imperia is a commune of people who believe that the destruction of the world was deserved because its inhabitants had become corrupted. Their core belief is that the descendants of the corrupted, i.e. everyone, should apologize for the sins of their ancestors and return to the old ways. The old ways are defined by literally any scrap of pre-fall scripture they can find, which has created an odd hodgepodge of contradictory tales and practices that seem utterly nonsensical to outsiders. Over half of commune members are former members of the Trinity Church who left after relentlessly arguing over different interpretations of what they perceive to be the original meaning of Trinity texts. Now combined with the various old scriptures that other commune members have found, has become all mixed in with other ancient influences from every remaining culture on the world fragment, to become something beyond comprehension as a whole. This incomprehensibility, adherents believe, can be overcome with complex yet pure, idyllically simple yet confoundingly busy life of both regular and irregular religious devotion or not, depending upon your schedule, of course. If you can do next Tuesday, I have a slot on Wednesday. If a crow flies west and the eagle howls in the wind, can eagles howl? That's not the moral of the story. Fat redistribution is. I am so sorry. Yeah, they're quite nuts. That's wonderful.
They're a
Wonderfully
tad
nuts.
confused.
But they do
May-
apologise a lot.
Maybe I won't do that then. It doesn't quite fit with my personality.
I'm going with the Church of Chancelessness.
Church of Chancelessness, a fairly recent organisation created by the previous monarch to lead a gambling inquisition. Once gambling had been largely eradicated, the last monarch began to cut its funding, and so it separated from state control, opened its doors to the public, and became a religion. Its ordinances became religious degrees, and it now preaches financial prudence and risk reduction.
Works, for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I've found the one that just suits me to a T.
Which one's that?
Trinity Church.
Trinity Church.
It's no one's. It's all the will of the gods.
Trinity Church has little sway this far north, although it does have holdings across much of the remaining world fragment. Faithfuls believe that the 3 dragons, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze, are the true creators of the world, and that the fall, which they call the Shattering, was the result of them being defeated in battle by the Queen of Bahrain, along with her son and her husband, who was slain in the battle, they believe. Adherents seek to restore the natural balance and awaiting the second coming of the metallic dragon saviors. Followers are often characterized as taking a lack of personal responsibility for their own actions, believing that everything that happens is the will of their dragon gods. The religion existed in an earlier form before the fall, but at the time of the fall was surviving only in the remotest parts of the world. Since the fall, it has steadily grown again in presence.
You can quite literally be a walking moral vacuum.
Steve has asked an interesting question. Do you actually have to take a religion?
Not at all. This is purely a role-playing option. It has no system bearing at all.
Yeah. Usually I wouldn't, but I sort of saw the Trinity Church. I thought I could have some fun with that. Why are you saving those people? I'm not. I am merely following the will of my gods.
Yep.
It would be
Why are
quite
you late?
interesting.
Oh no, it's my God's fault.
It is my God's fault that I am late. They lead me for their own purposes.
It's not my god's fault. It's the god's fault. The 3 dragon gods. The 3 dragons have willed it.
Why
It
are
would be
you
interesting, though,
why are
if-
you massacring this village?
If all 3 of you being
Will of the
humans
gods.
had like different religions and stuff, whereas I don't have one, or I have something that's much simpler.
We do. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think any of us have taken the same religion.
No.
What have you
No,
got
you
again,
don't
Phil?
need to, and that's fine.
Yeah, I
She gets
usually
God.
never take religions, so this could be a change for something different for a change.
So what have you gone for?
Who's that?
Me,
All of you, really. So I know Ron is on Trinity
all right.
Church and Jason's agnostic.
I'm going with the Church of Chancelessness.
Ah, yes, that's right. And Phil?
Sauron.
Oh, yes, Temple of
Sauron.
Sauron. Okay. Right.
No one
Languages-
wanted to go for the bathhouse. I'm shocked.
I'm disappointed. Okay. Languages and dialects. You speak iambic, which, as I described in the primer, is like if Shakespeare was Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So, species,
To
obviously,
be or
for
not
3
to
of you.
be.
Yeah, to be or not to be.
Be. I feel personally
Be
attacked
or
once
not
more
be.
by you.
They're both the
Becky.
same.
To be fair, she came up with this before we knew each other.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
still think that's possibly the most that entire thing should just be restated as to be or not to be. What a bloody question.
So species. Obviously, 3 of you are human and 1 of you is centaur. Okay. Now, you'll notice the next section down is wounds. So I'm going to share this again for the benefit of our 1-person audience. No, that's the wrong screen. I'll share a different one. Share screen. Oh, God, Kitty, yes.
Oh, Ronald.
Oh, come on, I think that's quite good.
Okay. Are you coming in or out? Just keep me hanging. Seriously. All right. So the next part of your character sheet, you see here, you've got minor and major wounds. Now, I'm just going to... So the way you log wounds in this is you actually describe the injury. So you could say, heavily bruised, and then there'll be a number, which I'm just putting 5 in here as the example. So you actually track your individual wounds as to what those wounds are. And then that number, every 6 hours of rest, that number goes down 1.
Okay.
Oh,
Now,
straight.
the number of minor wounds you can get is your constitution, and the number of major wounds is your mortality. Your constitution this isn't editable, it's calculated value, and it uses your body skill over here, the one that is a highlighted cell. So we'll be coming to skills in just a moment. Your vitality is also a derived value. It derives from your body plus your mortality plus any damage reduction you have, because your vitality is basically how hard to hit you are. Right? It cannot exceed 9, which the PDF doesn't do. So, all right. Now, Jason, you've got a couple of attacks you might want to write in from your thing. So I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but so you'll have charge and rear up. Both of them use the brawling skill, and then the way you write damage in this is dependent on the type of armor you are attacking, and it will be either low, medium, or high. So I can't remember what this is for the centaur. It's in Jason's notes, but so you would write high, medium, low, something like that normally. Does that make sense? And then rear up, brawling, high, medium, low. Yeah, something along those lines. Right. So that's how that works, and I'll let you fill that in. We'll talk more about that when we come to weapons later. Now, the skills, you start with a number of these already. So the column that says start, some of those have numbers in, and I think on the latest sheet, I did pre-fill I pre-filled all the ones that have a start thing. What isn't shown is you get 2 environmental skills free of charge. So you can either spend them on 2 different environments, or you can put them both into the same environment. So one of these can start with 2 if you want. Now, the environment skills is your survival and your perception, because perception is linked to what you're used to being in. So if you're used to being in the forest, that is where you will notice things that are out of place. Whereas if you're a city dweller, your perception might be brilliant in a city where you're used to being, but rubbish in a forest, etc.
I take it most of us are city dwellers then, aren't we?
Well, it's kind of up to you, but yeah, I mean, the way I'm sort of starting this is we're starting in the capital of Imperia, and so, city people is probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
But you might decide that you're actually from a rural background, and I would, that's totally reasonable.
So how do you put the points in?
Well, in this column here, there you can type the number. So there's 2. Okay. Basically, you've got 2 points. You can put them into different ones, or with this one, you could, if you wanted, put them both into the same one.
Yeah, I like
put them into current.
I like urban exterior and urban interior.
Yeah, that's what I did.
What would be the difference between rural and forest? Is rural more kind of like fields or hills?
Yes,
or something?
Farmland and small hamlet.
Okay,
would be rural.
I'll probably just put them both into forest then, because
it's the difference between how to survive if a cow charges you, and as opposed to how to survive when a squirrel charges you.
No. I changed up a little bit in order to make things a little bit different from Ronnie, who said it was putting points in exterior and interior, both urban. So I put mountain and rural.
Okay.
So I'll be the farmer this time.
Yeah. So you would have grown up. You would have grown up. If I just get the world map up again, I can show you the likely place for your upbringing. Or if I just go,
Yeah, I've
So-
decided I'm a rural. I'm a city boy.
You'd have grown up around these hills, probably around here. There's lots of kelp farming down here. And yeah, 'cause this is an imperial city as well. This is an imperial fortress. This is a village, but it's not particularly mountainous. It's more desert. So yeah, if you're used to the mountains, you probably grew up in farmland somewhere around here.
Mhm.
You'd have dealt with bandits occasionally, because that's a thing around there.
Yeah, to give us a bit more of a spread, I've gone for urban exterior and rural. So maybe I come from the farmland just outside the city,
Okay, and
travel into
then
the city for market day or something.
yeah, okay. So outdoorsy type person, right? and
I
get
went for
catch-
urban interior because I reckon my characters had to flee from a number of women's bedrooms in his time, and he's had to learn how to survive in bedrooms and other places. So he's quite good at urban interiors.
How to survive in bedrooms. All right.
You are
Quick
going back
question
out.
from me.
That makes you
is-
question your kind of relationships you had.
Fleeting, as in how fast I went out the window.
That's quick question about where it says soft for like types of attack and things. Does that count as unarmed as well, or is that just light armor?
That's basically soft encompasses having no armor all the way up to about leather armor.
Okay, cool, that's fine.
That's counted as soft.
Because in the notes it says unarmed rather than soft, so I just wanted to make sure they basically make the same thing in that case.
Yeah. I think I have right at the back of the equipment section is the actual armor types themselves. So
That's cute.
soft encompasses padded jackets, leather armor, wooden lamella armor, and that's it.
Cool.
Right. Now, skills themselves, I'm afraid, Jason, you do get slightly less. And normally on character generation, there's a fixed amount to go between your sort of knowledge-y type personal skills and your physical skills, so the left and right side of this character sheet. And that's all influenced by age. But I have thrown all of that stuff out, and we're just going to spend a number of points. So for the humans amongst you, you get 25 points to spend, and for the centaur, it's 20. But the way you spend the points, so you see there's a cost. You multiply that by the value it is about to become. So if you put them up one at a time, and you wanted to do, for example, Constitution, let's say I want to get it to 4. Well, I first have to go to 3, so it would be 3 times by the cost of 2. So 6. Cost me 6 points to get to 3.
Oh boy, that's going to be 25 points we start with.
25 points.
You
Right.
lot do, yes.
Now, let
I
me
was going to
explain
say,
what
I was
some
going
of
to
the-
say with regards to Jason, I think Stephen has brought up some very interesting points as with regards to employment for centaurs.
It's entirely possible that there is a taxi carriage centaur somewhere, but I think some of that will also come out in roleplay, because there's some role-playing notes on the centaur stuff I've already sent Jason.
The main
Yeah, I'm
the main
staying there.
centaur's name is Uber.
Now,
Uber.
before
wow.
you go too far into spending points, I should explain some of these skills. So, brawling and martial. Martial is not martial arts, it is martial weapons.
Right.
Certain weapons are martial weapons, basically the good ones.
Yeah.
If you're playing a fire mage, you probably want to develop martial on the grounds that the level 5 fire spell is flaming sword, which creates a flaming arming sword in your hand, and it's the highest damage in the game. But it's
Hey, thanks
rubbish
for
if
that.
you've got brawling skill.
Okay, thanks for the heads up.
However, martial is a very expensive skill.
Really?
There's a big difference between somebody who, because like, if you think about it, and this is my thought process on this, there's a lot of weapons that are simple and kind of peasant weapons, but to
Yes.
actually specialize in something like a sword, that takes real skill and real patience and dedication and learning and actual time spent doing it. And if you read the weapons section, you'll see how every weapon is kind of unique in its character and what it can do. And swords are cool for gentlemanly type stuff. not very cool for learning how to use them. Anyway, there is a difference between archery and bowmanship. Basically, bowmanship is a special skill for a warbow, because the warbow in this is modelled off the English longbow, or warbow as it's more properly called, and that, of course, is equally as expensive as martial. Everything else is just archery. Evade and dodge are used when defending, but only... So basically, each turn you can essentially defend against one attack in addition to the one that you're making, because you'll see when combat happens, but evade and dodge have some use, but as you'd expect for that kind of stuff, but they don't make you impervious to damage. 3 people is still 3 people and it overwhelms you. In the athletic stuff, that's all fairly common sensey, as is thievery. Now, the magic skills. What you need to know about magic in this, each element you learn separately. Whatever is your primary one is cheaper. You can have multiple elemental lines, but your secondary line will be more expensive to learn. Magic in this, you don't need to track spells or spell slots or anything like that. The problem is you won't always be able to cast it. As was hinted at earlier, the elemental forces in the world are weaker now that the world is shattered, so you can't always cast your spell. However, you can always do a ritual. It takes 6 hours. You all get a trade skill at level 2, so you can decide what that professional skill is. You will have a trade of some kind. It might be kelp farming.
Beet farming.
Oh, there you go, beet farming. Yeah, so it's something that isn't generally useful to adventuring, but that's the kind of stuff that would go in trade skills. It's the thing you make your living from before being an adventurer.
Ooh, no. Brewery. Brew. Oh fuck! I cannot pronounce it.
Brewing.
No, making beers. Brewing.
Yeah, brewing.
Brewing. There you go.
Sorry, my pronunciation sucks.
That's okay. Under interpersonal skills, again, I think they mostly make sense. Society etiquette is obviously talking to toffs. Mental fortitude is your willpower, basically. Your will save. Xenology. So, higher your xenology skill, the more you know about things that aren't human or centaur.
All right.
So, useful thing to note. Literacy. You cannot read or write unless you put a point in literacy.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
All right.
I'm going to need to do that then. I'm gonna
You said that mental fortitude is basically a will save, so it's not important for the casting part.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
The only thing that's important for the casting part is your, what you would put here would be water element. That is your ability to cast water spells.
Mm-hmm.
Steve says, gonna need more points, stop being greedy.
I agree with Steve.
20 points here. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got an extra pair of legs. So deal with it.
I would like to make a
The
claim.
insults have
maybe.
already started.
Actually, a question I wanted to ask you, Becky. You said that you're able to combine elements in order to create new ones. Something of sorts.
So if you were to do
2.
water element, for example, is your primary spell line, what you could do, I'll zoom this in, what you could do is you could take a second spell line. So you could take, I don't know, we haven't got an air caster, so maybe you go earth element. Now, the thing you have to bear in mind, the second element does cost more.
Mm-hmm.
But you have fire, earth, air, water, basically.
I'm going to put some in that as well, yeah.
All right.
Please, nobody take air at level 4 because I haven't written that yet. It'll probably be written by next week, but don't
think
start
that
with
any-
air at level 4.
No. I was thinking of
anything being at level 4 at the moment.
I was thinking water and heart. Heart. Oh fuck! I
Earth.
cannot speak
Okay.
for the life of me. Yes, that one.
Just so you know, Jason is actually playing an Earth caster.
Yes.
But there's no harm in having a second.
Yeah, and Phil is playing the fire, so
Yeah.
I'm just playing water, and that's it. Since air is not available yet.
Air is available up to level 3.
Up to level 3. All right.
I just haven't written beyond that yet. Sorry.
Don't worry.
I had a headache on Friday, okay?
And as for the points, because I want to make sure that I'm doing my arithmetics correctly, I have to multiply the cost value for the number I'm writing in each time.
Yes, and you go up 1 each time. So if you were doing air here, first time you're going to level 1, that is 2 points. Oops, sorry, 2 points.
Points
That's
spent.
just cost. Then you want to improve to level 2. So going to level 2 will cost
That's
4
4.
points.
All right.
Okay,
Steve
gotcha.
says, "Do you need to be a spellcaster?" No, but
that's
guys
cool.
kind of all decided they wanted to be.
Mm.
Apart from Ronnie, I don't think Ronnie's doing it. Are you? Yeah.
No, this is not because I'm against the idea of playing a spellcaster. It's just it's a brand new system for me, so I want to play something a bit more straight on while I got used to the mechanics. It's something that maybe I would play a spellcaster next time.
Okay, that's a bit.
I think I want to be a spellcaster. I'm going to have to put some in literacy. If I'm Temple of Sarlan, that's
Spend my points.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I want to read scrolls and cast magic.
With literacy and stuff, does that have any kind of bearing on your abilities with magic, or is it simply if you can't read, then you can just learn it another way, or with like a talent?
Matt, yeah, you can learn magic in 2 ways. Let me cover that for you now. Learning spells. So there are 2 ways to do it. Natural power. When gaining an elemental skill level, you always gain 1 new spell. So we'll be doing that in a minute. Then you draw a card. If the card is of the element type for which you just gained, then an additional spell is unlocked. You may select any spell for which you have sufficient skill to cast. So you gain 1 or 2 spells every time you gain an elemental casting skill. However, learning from books. When attempting to learn from a book, you must study the book for a week, at which point you can make a skill check. You must score an elemental critical from the spell line the spell is in, and the effect must be equal to or greater than the level of the spell. For each additional week of study you have already given the book, you may reduce the target effect by 1. If the target effect reaches 0, then you have learned the spell without needing to do a skill check. So basically, you get some from natural power, but if you want a complete spell book, you would need to read books.
Oh.
But you only
So I
need a
need
literacy
literacy.
of 1. You only need a literacy of 1 in order to be able to do that. It's, I mean,
yeah, but I like the idea of starting off without being able to read.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Okay.
Well, you intending to learn spells on the hoof then?
Yes. All 4 hooves.
5, 10, 20.
Sorry, but horse and centaur puns are going to be galloping along at a.
All right. I think I'm done.
Okay.
Not sure though.
25 points don't last very long, though.
They
Do you
don't.
believe the math adds up? Hopefully.
I can double check if you like.
All right.
If you send it to the, if you're not sure, send it to the messenger group and I'll take a look.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got my. I'm
just seeing it.
Definitely a case of not got anything in anywhere interesting. But,
I'm done.
yeah, I kind of have an idea of the kind of character I want to play, so I kind of like the idea of him being more of a Lothario.
I hope none of you want healing, so I've not taken
Well,
first aid.
As long as you're not Inigo Montoya, in other words, you have a line that repeats every time you open your mouth.
Hello.
Oh shit! I didn't remove the first aid skill. Never mind.
Hello.
Because I've taken a point in that. Is that all right?
No,
I
it's
feel
fine.
I feel a version
just
4 coming on.
joking. I was just joking. Right. So that is 1, 2. That's 2. All right. Hang on.
See, Stephen actually
Georgie,
likes and
Mamma Mia.
appreciates my centaur-based puns.
Yeah, get them
Often
out
you
of
get
the
to use a
way.
centaur based pun, is it really?
Well, I'm kind of horsing around.
Yeah. Well, when the opportunity comes up, never look a gift horse in the mouth.
That's what I say all the time.
It's Saturday night, Giorgio.
It's Saturday night, Giorgio.
So it's basically a regular session for me on Monday. But now it's Saturday.
Yeah, totally the same.
Red Ram.
Red
Ram.
I made that 24, Giorgio, but I might have missed one somewhere. But that's what I made it.
Oh. Maybe I miscalculated.
Where do we?
No, it was me. It was me. I think I
Because
only counted
brawling
one.
as a start.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was
Brawling's
archery
one.
that actually threw me.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Yeah, that's
counted
actually
enough
cute.
for it.
I am not being a centaur stereotype. I am not taking archery as my main skill.
Meh.
Because so many centaurs are like, oh yeah, archers, cavalry. No.
No, it's mostly brawling for centaurs because of the
Oh,
polearm
yes.
thing. Yeah.
Oh yes.
See, even
yeah,
Stephen's
that looked
saying
right
it's
then.
Saturday night, Giorgio.
Welcome to Saturday Night Giorgio.
Right.
Right. Did anybody else want me to go over their sheet, or are you all happy and think, confident?
Yeah.
I think
Cool.
it's fine.
My main
It
thing
didn't
is,
go.
Cool.
It didn't go very far, must admit.
Yeah,
No,
my main
There's a
thing
lot of
is,
empty skills there.
It doesn't, because the principle is, unlike 5e and other games of that type, where you start with a load of abilities and you're basically a superhero from the beginning. If A and A, you're an ordinary person and you can and will die.
Oh, good.
Right.
The good
So
news
it's
is,
Fantasy Cthulhu, yes.
yeah.
Whoever-
The good news is you do actually get to spend your skill points every week if you want to. And I should probably put a bit on the character sheet to track it, and I forgot, but never mind. You can store it in your equipment. Basically, for essentially every hour of play, you get an XP.
oh, poor Ronnie.
And you don't
Version
have to...
3B of the character sheet
He's going to
is
have to get a new
incoming.
computer again, with all the character sheets just clogging up his CPU and memory. Where do you write spells?
I haven't put that in either, but I figured there's at the bottom of page 3, there is a place you can do it, because there's
Version 6
there's
of the
other
character
equipment,
sheet.
and there's
Oh.
2 columns.
Other equipment, you can
Right.
stick it in every column, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Could just go in there.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, with XP, you'll get it every week, probably 2 because we do a couple of hours play, and you can spend it whenever you want, but not when you're using a skill. It's the only thing. So it can't be like, oh, I need to use that skill. I'll just put a point in it. No, that's not allowed. But other than that, you can spend it when you get it. Basically, as whenever you have to wait for a level up. There's that. Now, some of you took magic there, so we're going to need to have a bit of a discussion about spells.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it in the order they appear in the magic thing. So first up is water. Who took water? That was George.
I did.
Giorgio,
what is-
mamma mia.
What is your
Yes,
water
exactly.
level skill?
Now, currently, it's 2.
2. Okay, so when you got your first point, you would have gained one of 2 different spells, either Water of Life or Shape Water. Water of Life is a really shit healing spell, and Shape Water is a really shit ability to make water look like a statue.
I'm taking Water of Life.
Okay. When you got to level 2, you'd have got a choice of backfilling Shape Water or getting Cure Ailment or Sudden Downpour. So Cure Ailment is can cure minor wounds. So it's a genuine heal for curing minor wounds. Sudden Downpour is the ability to create rain, which can be quite good if you want to, get advantage on stealth and things like that.
No, I'm taking the Cure Ailment.
Okay, so you have Water of Life and Cure Ailment. So I believe you should have access to the magic spell list, so you might want to read those 2 spells. Get an idea.
Yeah. I read them beforehand before you changed
awesome.
the file. But I read them.
I didn't edit any spell when I did that. I was simply adding more. So don't panic. And you didn't get any more in water. So don't worry. There was things to write.
All right.
Yeah. Do you take a second elemental line or not?
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah. That point starvation thing is a real issue. Right, Fire Mage, I believe that was you, Phil. How many points did you put in that?
2.
2. So when you got your first point, you had a choice between Flaming Fist and Flame Control. Now, Flaming Fist, admittedly, I kind of suggested going martial. It's actually a brawling thing, which I've just realised. So Flaming Fist is basically an unarmed combat damage boost, and Flame Control is a really shitty ability to basically make statues out of fire.
I sort of thought I might go Flame Control because that maybe I'm earning a few extra coins by performing tricks with flames.
Okay, and when you went to level 2, you have a choice between Firebolt and Rain of Fire.
It's got to be Firebolt.
Okay, you have the world's shittest Fireball. There you go.
I do not approve.
Well, you can put
Rain of Fire. Come on.
Okay, now you went Earth, didn't you, babe? And I assume that's the only one you've taken. What level did you get it to?
2. I was just trying to find the link in the chat, but I'm not sure you posted it.
I did. I posted it once. It may have looked like it was an air element thing, but there you go. I put it in the private chat as well now.
Yeah, it's a Google document.
I know there were a few, but it just said there was one for water.
Yeah, no, it's that's the magic list basically.
Okay.
Okay, so when you went to first level, you have a choice between Earth Sculpture and Stone Skin. Earth Sculpture is a really shitty ability to make Earth look like a statue.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
There's more to it than that. I'm underselling it. Stone Skin is basically the ability to ignore some wounds, and it's actually quite cool if it lands well.
Yeah, I was thinking Stone Skin anyway, potentially.
Okay, and then at level 2, you've got Stone Grasp, which you're probably going to take, and Rock Wall, which you probably aren't. So, Stone Grasp basically turns any natural flooring, or whether it's made or natural, actually, as long as it's natural materials like earth, stone, or rock. Basically, you form a hand out of it that can grab hold of someone, and then it solidifies. So that kind of stops them moving until they smash it.
I'm assuming you mean like a large hand, not a human-sized hand. Else that would be kind of
it's just a big hand, just a sizable human hand that grabs their ankle.
Oh, okay. That's right.
So it's just like you stay there while we deal with everyone else, and then you can go and kill the person that's sort of stuck there. Then there's Rock Wall, which is much the same. You make it out of any stone, rock, or natural floor, whatever. But it doesn't work on made surfaces. Big difference between natural and made. And it basically just grows a wall out the ground for a short period of time. I think there's a thing about trapping people in it, but I can't remember. So feel
Well,
free
I'm
to
going to go
read
for the
it.
stone grasp anyway.
Yeah, I think it's the best. Personally, I think it's the better of the two. But
Rock one in the middle of the way. I see nothing about being trapped, but the wall does rise slowly.
any unrestrained creature or person underneath the wall as it emerges can easily maneuver out of the way of the wall. Oh, sorry,
As the
I
wall
was
rises
reading the
slowly.
wrong thing. Where it says the wall lasts. Yeah, no. I mean,
It
it just
kinda-
blocks movement.
It kind of reminds me of the force wall in Wipeout 3 randomly, but it's like it's this, vertical thing in the way, but you can get around it. It just sort of slows you down or whatever.
Yeah, well, in interior spaces, it can be quite useful, but it's got to be a
Yes.
natural thing, so it's very much limited use.
Yeah,
Whereas Stone
yeah.
Grasp, much more useful,
hmm
I think. So, anyway, yeah, that's spell sorted. So, now the next thing we need to think about is equipment and, well, weapons and armor. And I noticed Ronnie's gone AFK there, so perhaps we should take a short break, wait for him to get back. Oh, hello, Valentino Esposito.
Hello.
Oh,
Saying
buongiorno.
hello to you, Giorgio.
Wonder why
you're-
that is.
He's muted. I think he's talking to his partner. Is this your partner,
No.
maybe? Or no?
Yeah, it's my girlfriend.
Oh,
She's
that
my
is,
girlfriend. Yes.
His greatest fan.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Well, let's take a short break here because
She's typing
You should go away and
furiously.
confirm that.
No, she's typing furiously as I'm speaking. I don't know what she's writing though. Yes, I confirm. All right. All right.
So we'll take a short break because I don't want to go into the next stuff while Ronnie's back. So let's go straight into the next stuff. Okay.
Oh, your timing was impeccable.
Everyone can go for a break. I just,
Right.
it's okay.
Because I love to overcomplicate things.
No.
For weapons and armor and stuff, basically, rather than giving a list of prices, what I did is I created a list of price lists for a number of different shops because everything is available at a different quality level.
You
I haven't got that. I haven't
just
got that verse.
stop.
Yeah, you
The
have.
thing is, either you're really dedicated to this, or you have a lot of spare time on your hands.
No, she's literally spending every remaining moment outside of work writing at the minute with this stuff.
I can't help it. I'm just born this way.
Yeah.
Not
Either way,
not-
I think I'm going to print this.
You can
Because
do, yeah, I have. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because we have a printer now.
So, basically, there are different qualities of weapon. Now, quality won't actually do more damage, but it does mean it won't break as quickly, which is nice. The one single exception you can't afford, that's plate armor, where quality will actually improve it. But you can't afford that anyway. Now, all of these prices are in gold pieces. You'll have Imperial Crowns. What we're going to do is we'll create characters in gold pieces and then move it to Imperial Crowns afterwards. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a quick check of, just make sure I pick a correct number out of my head, rather than something completely impossible. Let's say you all start with, I'm thinking of making it maybe, let's give you 400 gold pieces to spend on this stuff. Now,
400 gold crowns.
yeah, 400 gold crowns.
Oh, well,
With this one that says price and buy, you're using the price column. Buy is because they will buy stuff. You haven't got it to sell. You're using the price column. So, do you all have the link to that document, or do you want me to?
Yep. Just found it.
I do have it.
Which one is that?
So
I
this
just
is the
created
weapons and armor.
Yeah,
AFA weapons.
The AFA weapons.
AFA weapons.
Oh
that's
wait,
the
no,
one.
that's right. I've got the exchange rate now.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
Prices are right at the end.
Oh, there we go.
But we can also
Cheap,
talk a
isn't
little bit. Right, but also you want to make sure you get a weapon that is appropriate for the skills you've taken.
Mm-hmm.
So, 'cause
And
if
How
you've
much
got
did you
martial
say
for-
we had again?
at 500 gold,
500 gold.
500.
Oh,
Okay,
you
you
said
said 400.
400.
did I?
Yeah.
Oh well, I've said 500 now. Have an extra 100. You're welcome.
Yay, thank
Ooh.
you.
Ronnie, ask her again.
Right,
Uh,
right, yeah, right.
I'm-
We keep asking. We might get up to the 1,000. Keep going. Come on.
And 300 for Ronnie.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Becky. As for the ammunition, for example,
That'll be
because
good.
I was thinking of buying a crossbow.
Okay. So you use bolts. There is somebody here that sells bolts somewhere.
Hopefully.
It's the centaur. It's how he moves about.
Safonsba
He
Lumber
bolts.
sells bolts. 10 bolts is 20.
And bolts. It's
Oh, yeah, I see what you've done. Yeah, yeah.
That's a little bit annoying, but I can work with that.
Things I would recommend getting is a shield,
Everything.
a metal helmet, and some armor. No idea if you can afford that. Now, if you're martial, who's gone martial? Who's gone brawling?
I've
I went
got-
brawling.
I've
Brawling?
got brawling
I
with
went
a tiny bit
brawling,
of
I
martial.
I went Marshall on some dodgy advice.
Well,
Right.
it turns
So-
out that pole arms, which I'm supposed to have, are a martial, so I thought I'd take a little bit
Well,
anyway, in case.
it depends on which pole arm.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I know that spears.
But I
can be
didn't even
brawling.
take any. I didn't even actually take any brawling. I put a point. I put a couple of points into archery. But,
Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, no, short bows are totally doable thing. But basically, because certain weapons are either brawling or martial, you've got the whole document there, but you've also got my repository of knowledge here. So, if you want sort of help finding a weapon appropriate for your skill, ask away. So for archery, you want either crossbow or short bow.
Right, I'm just looking at the location, General Arms, Imperia, right?
Mhm.
Just explain to me, because just in clear and simple terms, what's the difference between the price of the weapon and the buy of the weapon? Is the buy is what they'll sell, what you can sell it for?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, because Luticius has basically he doesn't really care about quality, so this is the poorest quality stuff you can get. But
Right.
in Luticius's General Arms, he will actually also buy any old crap you send him, provided it reaches the quality on that list, which isn't
So-
very high.
So the gods are inspiring me. The great gods are inspiring me
Hmm.
to half-inch a whole load of plate mail armor, and if it doesn't fit, sell it on.
Plate mail's amazing stuff.
Mm.
If it doesn't fit me, then it's going to get sold for like 4,000,
Question:
5,000.
Are the prices no different for me?
Armor, forget it. You can't afford it.
Fine. That was my main query, because obviously shape
Oh.
and size and
Metal helmet,
okay.
you can afford. That can work.
I blooming well hope so.
Hey, don't knock
Uh,
it. That means you can ignore. Basically, when you take any dazed result,
hmm
you can take it instead as a quality loss on the helm,
Yeah.
instead, so you can ignore being dazed.
220, 300.
What's a lamellar?
Lamella,
Or
It's-
lamella?
samurai
it's an armor,
is
isn't it?
wooden lamella. Yes,
we both
samurai
talked
about
armor is wooden lamella, right? But you can also
Yeah.
get metal lamella, which is like banded mail.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
it's
okay.
like
alright.
tiny discs jointed together.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay,
Um,
this is where the role player in me is gonna just query something, because I'm a little confused on a couple of things.
Sure.
Right.
Oh.
No, in all seriousness, Maces and Morning Stars are down here as a brawling skill,
Hmm.
but daggers are down as a martial. Why?
Okay. If you were to, you can use a dagger with brawling, but it would count as an improvised weapon. If you were to use a dagger properly, that is martial, because fighting with a dagger properly and effectively involves stances and the ability to aim for very specific parts of the body, whereas a
And to
brawler just goes, "It's a knife in it."
Well, yeah, and to thrust very, very slowly to get through their armor.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm still in June territory.
Well,
Yeah.
with a dagger, right, if you stab the right part of the body, you can kill someone. If you're just a brawler, just goes without thinking about it, you're not going to hit those critical parts of the body. Also, knowing how to use a dagger to get, particularly a stiletto, to get through certain types of armor.
Because I find myself the kind of character I had in mind. Yeah, a lot of this shit I can't use.
Quick question for me, being a
I-
dumbass.
I can use it, but I can't use it effectively.
Yeah.
Quick question for me, being a dumbass. What do you mean with padded jack?
So padded jackets are basically a densely packed woolen jacket. So it is kind of armor, like a quilted armor. They're actually really effective.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure about my in-head translation of jack.
Okay, yeah, they're often called just a padded jack instead of jacket, but yeah, it's a quilted armor, usually running from shoulder down to not quite down to your knees, sort of between your hip and your knees.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Given the fact that I lived in the mountains and probably heard some sheeps, that makes perfect sense, character-wise.
Yeah, padded jack is perfect peasant armor.
Well, I don't know how to spend more money. I believe I'll buy another axe.
200 left.
Another axe.
Hi.
Yes.
I love. I don't know how to spend more money. I just don't know. It's just too. It's just too much money.
Is it me, or quality doesn't really go? Oh no, that's 5. But 4 means that is generally a decent piece of equipment, right?
Oh yeah. So 6, if you think of 6 as like that is something you'd only find on some piece of magical equipment type thing. So 4 is solidly good craftsman stuff. 5 is exquisite. That's the kind of shit like a noble would carry. And 6 is just something really special. Just a note, though, the Imperial Armory isn't something you can buy from unless you're an ex-guardsman.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Which one again?
The Imperial Armory.
Yeah, it says underneath.
Balls.
It's guardsmen only.
Well, that
Oh no!
stops me getting
No!
there.
I hate you so
I-
much. The padded
I
jack
saw
is on that list. Jesus.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not the only one, though. You can get a padded jack for the same price
At
from
the General Arms.
at Luticius's General Arms. I mean, it's not as good. It's the same price.
Where, babe, where it says just using a shield,
Yeah.
is that criteria before tower shield just talking about the round shield?
Sorry, you're referring to a bit of text rather than a question, so I need to find that text myself to know what you're saying.
Well, because it says the two most common types of shield are the round shield and the tower shield. There's a section on just tower shields, but in between then it's just saying using a shield. So does that... You're muted, babe.
I really wasn't. It has a habit of muting itself, I think.
Oh, it's changed mic as well. Well,
There we go. Hopefully that's back to normal,
Yeah.
yeah?
yeah.
Yes. 300. I got 200. Fuck.
Oh,
What sort of weapons everyone going for
she
then?
down. Well, glad it's not just me having technical problems.
Okay, I think here. So yeah, using a shield is basically how the mechanics of using a shield works. Tower shield just deals with the bonus you get with the tower shield
Okay, fine.
because it's like a shield but with an extra card.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So what you should end up with after all of this will be something like axe quality 3 brawling skill, and then we can, for whatever you get, we could then go through the document and fill that stuff in. So axe is medium, low, for example. So it should look something like I've just written there.
Yeah, I'm still making
Yeah, same.
additions.
I'm down to that's
The
5.
round shield is nice and cheap.
Oh, you. Okay, yes. What do you get to put your weapon quality in then?
Just write it in brackets.
Okay.
Like if you look at the screen share, I've just sort of shown an example of
Oh,
how
you
I.
did, yes, sorry. I wasn't looking at that. Okay. That's going to be
No, what, 250. Oh, that's the guard thing there.
I'm down to. Okay.
Oh, what's head quality?
Head quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
under
The spears.
where under Sophonspa lumber, the spear, javelin, blah blah, says use head quality for the quality.
So this is where I just go into unnecessary stuff. I'm really sorry about that. That is because you can buy, it's a lumber mill, so you can buy a spear shaft, and then from the blacksmith you can buy a spear head, and you put the two together. But the quality of the head is what determines the quality. I'm so
Oh, I
sorry.
see. Okay.
I know that was unnecessary, but
No, that's
thing
cool.
is, the
It's
thing
cool, but
ultimately, what I want to build is key locations that you can just kind of go to when you're actually role playing, and you've got their prices and stuff like that, and details of the people and things. I actually want to build the world, not just say this is how you create a character.
well, that's why it's so cheap, because you're literally just buying a bit of wood, and then
Yeah.
the spear head is going to be okay, fine.
Yeah.
But in Venonia, it's just down as a spear. So is that completely intact?
Yes, because Venonia, being the posh sod that they are,
Yeah,
well, they don't sell parts of weapons, darling. We
yeah, okay. Well.
150.
See, I thought it'd be fully kind of customizable rather than just, this is already pre-made. No, we tailor it to you and how you like.
Of course we do, but I didn't realise you wanted to pay the full price. You know,
oh god, I hope it's expensive.
I will of course always offer a bespoke option on everything that I make, says Venonia.
Lol. You pay
But
for
remember-
quality with gold or blood. Oh god, I'm starting to sound like Count Von Count with gold or blood. Okay. What else is there?
1, 2, 3 victims. Mwahaha.
Oh god, what have I done? Okay. Do I just want a go for a spear that's quality 4, darling?
Steve thinks you should have a lance. Well, I haven't put lances in, but with very good reason.
No, although there is
He also says you need more gold. No, you don't.
No, I don't. There's a pilum, which could be my polearm thing that I'm supposed to have.
That'll be acceptable.
It looks quite cool. It looks like a a long jabby thing.
Yeah, very popular in this part of the world because it is a Roman weapon.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100.
All right. I'm just saving 30 pieces out of the 500s.
Okay, so once you've
No.
finished, convert
I'm
your gold
saving
coins.
10. Yeah?
Once you finish, convert your gold coins into imperial crowns by multiplying them by 10 and putting them in the imperial crown section. So if you had 30, you'd get 300 imperial crowns.
Imperial Crown.
All right. So I'm starting to fill in everything. So I got X 4.
Can I just go back then and take my
Oh, god damn it.
just
I need
change
to
my
print this stuff.
oh it's
Sorry.
gonna change yours.
X.
So Phil?
I was thinking about changing my my martial stat skill.
Okay. Yeah.
That gives me going up 1 and 1. It's already at 1, so I'm going to that takes 3, so it probably is the same. Okay. I'll do that then. I'll take that 1 0. Done. I think I'm caught up. I've got
Okay.
10 gold
Right.
pieces left.
I wouldn't mind just one more. Oh, actually, hold on. What's encumbrance like in this?
Just be reasonable. Like the way I this is just a personal thing. How I like to manage my own characters is I write down where things are because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It kind of helps you make sure you're carrying a reasonable amount.
Because at the minute I've already got a spear and I've got a pilum.
Mm-hmm.
So would I be able to take something one-handed as well, like a mace, or would that be too much?
Well, you see the thing of have you also got a shield?
Yes.
What you'd probably do is your shield hand would probably hold the weapon you're not using, and then the other weapon would hold the other pole arm. But what you can do with a mace is you can wear it on your belt.
Yeah, that's another thing I thought about as well. Yeah. Okay.
So you could absolutely have a mace. Maces are a really good brawling weapon to have.
I've used
they
them
do
before,
tend to
and they're pretty
break,
good.
though.
Yeah, they
So-
do, but no.
As a centaur, has Jason got a higher carry rate as well?
Well, yeah, but this is what I say. Like, I haven't put a mechanic thing in for this, but the way I like to manage my characters, I just write down where everything is stored, and then you always end up with something reasonable.
Yeah, I'm in the same opinion as a GM. I tend to go what I call common sense encumbrance.
Yeah, the encumbrance breaks a lot of systems.
If you start looking like you're overdoing it, then I'm going to penalize you. But up until then,
Well, the thing is, the way encumbrance usually works is people write out a list of things right on their equipment, and blah, 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 blah. And it because they then came up with the system to try and say, well, how heavy is that? Can you carry that? What they really should have said was, in backpack, blah, 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 in backpack side pocket. Blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden, everything you're carrying just kind of go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm fully loaded.
I quite like those character sheets that actually show you a backpack with things to write in for all the pockets and things.
Yeah, Corporation does that, although weirdly it has like duplicate spaces and you have to write it twice.
Yeah,
which I
that's
really
just for
don't
the
like.
cybernetics, though. And yeah,
sort of, and the like your main attacks and things, I guess. Macy,
Right.
Macy.
All right. Yes.
Nothing.
I'm
what-
set.
what weapons have people gone for then? And armor and shields.
I went with an axe, quality 4, and then crossbow and 30 bolts. Then I went with a metal helmet, quality 4, a padded jack, quality 3, and a round shield, quality 4.
Nice. So the padded jack. I'm trying to remember if that actually gives you damage reduction. Let's find it. Padded jack. Yeah, damage reduction 1. So
Yay.
if with the armor, the padded the damage reduction, there is a space for it on the front page, and that will update your vitality automatically.
Yes, it did. Now I got 5.
Woohoo! Yeah, there's a chance you'll survive some hits.
Hopefully.
Question: Are we converting the gold crowns into imperial crowns?
Yes, when you've finished, move them across to Imperial Crowns and multiply by 10.
Okay. I took.
Okay, so
Sorry.
no, I was about to say just so that I get my maths absolutely right. You say that we should multiply our remaining gold pieces into crowns by multiplying them by 10.
Yeah,
So
so
what
if I show you
is
your
0
packet-
times 10?
Okay, so 0 times 10. What you would do is you would get 0, don't forget to carry the 0.
That's what I was thinking. Carrying the 0, add
Carrying
the
is a
other
very
0 on.
important.
Are we
Yeah,
talking
I've
0
spent a lot.
recurring as well, by the way?
I've
Uh,
spent
Or are we
a lot.
rounding?
Well, it depends if you subscribe to the theory that numbers have mass because of the whole divide by 3, multiply by 3 thing, in which case it would be 0.0 recurring 1, which a lot of mathematicians argue is technically impossible because you can't have something after a recurring number, which is correct. But then, the whole plus minus 0 recurring 1, that's a whole thing with numbers having mass. And it's just a theory that, isn't widely accepted.
My
And
question
this
was
audience,
rhetorical, but cool.
their audience, we now have an example of how easy it is for Becky to overcomplicate things. Right there.
It's not my fault. However, it is a beautifully elegant, simple role-playing system. It's just that I want to
Yes.
make a really detailed world to go with it.
No, I quite agree, actually. No, I've spent everything.
Awesome.
I've got a
I have
One more gold.
900.
Okay.
I went with leather armor quality 2,
Oh, so even more damage reduction.
a helmet quality 2, metal helmet, a range shield quality 4, and a mace quality 3.
Going for the brute force ignorance approach. Oh, it is still damage reduction 1. So have you put the damage reduction in the front page so it's updated your vitality?
Yes, I did put it in
Yeah.
the damage reduction. Yes,
Awesome.
I didn't look at updated vitality. Oh yes, it has. It's gone to 5. Yes.
Yeah, should happen automatically if you put it in the right places. So yeah.
Come on,
What are you carrying, Ronnie?
I have I'm wearing a padded jacket of quality 3. I've got a metal helmet quality 3 and a round shield quality 4. And I have a mace quality 3 and a hand crossbow quality 3. And I've got 10 bolts for it.
Sweet.
And I have no idea how you add all that in.
Okay, so it should look like basically, so you put your armor quality, whatever axe, so as like you put the quality of your axe there. I probably mentioned the shield on the homepage. Maybe I'll just put a reference down there to I can't spell shield, shield quality, whatever it was, round shield. So just keeping track of the quality is because it will change as well. Things break. Just in weapons and armor and shields, but yeah, they do break. And babe, what have you got?
I have got a spear at quality 4, a mace at quality 2, and a pilum at quality 2. I also have a metal helmet quality 3 and a round shield quality 3.
Okay, there we go. So now you can sneer down at anyone who has lower quality equipment than you. Right. What I suggest we do is take a short break. Toilet, coffee, etc. And then we'll come back and discuss how you guys will know each other and plonk you into the start of the world and throw a dragon at you and see how you do.
Lol.
Wow.
Excellent.
See you in a sec.
See you in a few minutes.
Okay.
buy a saddle and smile nicely at Horsey McHorseface. I'm rather hoping that the character isn't actually called Horsey McHorseface by the end.
I've just changed it, so no.
Mm.
I'm just working out the rest of the weapon stuff.
Why not? Says Steve. It's like, well, this isn't Pathfinder, where we did the really silly game. It's supposed to be
Yes,
epic
yeah,
and grandiose.
We are going to try and play this as sort of. We're going to try and continue the current Saturday tradition of playing games with a bit more seriousness of tone.
It'll never last.
Lol.
We are going to do our best to be people who have come from the great and noble land of Thespia. I think
What,
we're
the
going.
actors?
Yes, that's them. I have a feeling that come sort of 5 or 6 sessions, we may end up being their far and distant cousins. But we're going to start as people from Thespia.
Imperia, but okay.
It's a typo.
What are our stances with different factions?
No, I did actually put that in the chat, and it hasn't changed. So there's 2 faction matrices I posted. First one being human, second being centaur.
Those are the ones I haven't downloaded yet.
They're just images. So just.
I haven't downloaded them yet.
Oh, there. Okay. All right.
So the only thing left really is to decide between you how you know each other. Like, do you already know each other? I mean, it would make sense, I think, or it'd be easier from a plot perspective if you were an adventuring group, or you kind of knew each other and decided to go adventuring for some reason. That would help expedite. Otherwise, we just have to role play through doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
You mean you're giving us a chance to avoid the strangers meet at a bar?
Yeah.
Preamble.
Yeah. Assume you've already met in a bar. Or a stable.
Well, my character was he lives outside the city in the rural area. It was a farmer. It was actually a goose herd, and his flock of geese got killed, and he's had to move into the city to take on another job.
So he doesn't give a duck then.
Your geese were killed completely.
Yep,
and you're feeling down.
that's right. That's all.
Well, as for me, maybe I was a farmer from a family of farmers and herders, but decided to have a little bit more from his life. So he started to wander around the woods where we met Apostolos.
Hey.
And maybe we found the others along the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That kind of works.
Well, my guy is pretty much... I don't want to say he's a Lothario so much as he believes himself to be He's going through. Because he's found this religion quite recently. The Trinity Church. He's become a sort of convert quite recently. He hasn't quite decided whether the church has converted him or whether he's sort of gravitated towards it because it sort of aligns with his ideals already. He said, that's the one for me. They'll let me get away with all this shit.
Reinforces my pre-existing biases.
Exactly.
Sign me up.
Exactly. He's gone because of this whole there's no real personal responsibility. It's all the will of the gods. He's going through a real hedonistic phase right now. And his version of hedonism is to enjoy as much drink as possible, food as possible, and to find himself flying out of as many different women's bedrooms as possible. This is why he's broke, because he spends it all.
Fine.
So he's looking for employment.
So by hook or crook, you find each other, and you've become loose friends, as it were, and you're all in need of money and figure, we could see if we can find some work type thing. Now, the last thing I want to do before we kind of really get into it is I know Giorgio hasn't had a chance to sort of really understand how the mechanics work yet. So I just want to quickly go over that. And I thought it might be a good chance to sort of demonstrate that to our audience of currently one as well. So let's get the card thing up. Now, what would normally happen is I will set a difficulty for a test. In this case, I'm going to set a difficulty of 3 for an example hand here. So these 3 cards have just come up, and now the size I'm sharing that at doesn't work terribly well. So let me shrink this down. Does that? Well, something like that maybe. Okay, so as you can see there, I've drawn 3 cards because it was a difficulty 3. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and play the best 3 cards using the cards that I've just drawn to the table and the cards that are in my hand. Now, when you're doing a skill test, you will similarly play down a number of cards, which is usually based on your skill. So let's say you've got a skill of 3, and you'll see in the top left of your screen, you should have a select box that lets you choose a different number of difficulty skill test. So choose 3 and then hit skill test. Okay, so you've got a 7, an 8, and a 5. So
thing is that I don't see. All right, I have to change the zoom on my page because it doesn't show my line at 100%. But now I can see them. All right, sorry, my bad.
Okay, no worries. So now using the cards that you've drawn to the table. Well, here's the thing. As the player, you can always wait for me to go first. So I'm going to pull some cards out first, and I'm going to be particularly horrible and get some big ones. Now, let's pretend that this is an attack and that we're attacking each other. So to save a lot of time in this system, when we attack each other, it's actually we both resolve that at the same time. And what will happen is the highest person will score the hit. But the amount of damage done is called the effect card. And this is where the low, mid, and high stuff comes in. So for a lot of tests, either they might not have an effect or they might be, typically it'll be low effect. But in the case of weapons, you've got that matrix next to all of your weapons, right? Same with spells. There's always a matrix for the spells. So you're looking to score. So let's say that you're doing low effect here, for example, and I'm doing low effect to you. What you want to do is you want to get a higher total than me.
All right.
So that is just the highest face value of cards. However, there are some special things that can happen with face value. So if you match a suit across all 3 cards, and you'll notice some cards are in multiple suits, that means they work in both suits. So it's not that you... So say you've got see there you've got 7 of fire and water on your first card there.
Yeah.
If I put the mouse over it, that you don't have to match fire and water across all. You can actually match fire or water across all three, and that card will work for both.
All right.
Now, if you do that, then your effect card gets added twice to your total.
All right.
I'm blowing your brain, aren't I? Sorry.
No.
Now,
No.
now what you can do, when you select the cards, it will actually show you at the bottom what your total and what your effect is. Which regrettably our audience doesn't get to see just yet, but they will in a second.
Oh no, our audience is currently boasting about how big his is.
Yes, I've seen.
His screen.
Yeah. The thing is that this
That's
Zoom
fine.
is not helping me at all. So let's say I select the 5.
You can full screen StreamYard if that helps.
No, I mean that's on my end. My
Are you on a small
interface.
laptop screen or something?
Yeah, unfortunately I am. Well, I can fix this. Yeah, just give me a sec. I'm plugging in my work laptop, my desktop, sorry, so that I can see things bigger. Just a sec.
Yeah, I just realized that it makes way more sense to me to actually have an axe since I'm a woodcutter, so I've swapped that.
Okay.
So
No
what you're
axe
saying is that you're copying me?
No,
Yes,
No,
you are.
but you're a brewer.
Still,
What, do you brew beer with an axe?
I cut open the barrels with an axe.
I chop trees and wood.
All right. So just give me a sec.
Wow, Ronnie, that name. Caelus Draconum Mercia. Or is it
Yeah.
Mercia?
Mercia.
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 So basically your name is a bit like Grant Shapps in that you pronounce the C's differently depending on which name it is.
Yes. Yes. Well, more importantly, the Caelus Mercia is actually his name. Draconum is the reason I've got the Draconum in quotes is that's the middle name he's given himself to make himself sound more.
Okay,
but
now it's way better.
Is Draconum like a really chavvy name in Imperia?
I don't know. I think because he's only recently added it because he's become part of the Trinity Church that worships the three dragons. So he's went for something Draconum because he thinks it makes him sound more.
So it's a bit like calling yourself God.
No, it's a bit like calling himself, "Hey, I'm one of the dragons, mate." He's not
so
quite
God.
understood it. As I say, it's more he's in the religion at the moment because it just happens to give him license to do what he wants to do anyway.
Yes.
All right. So selecting all my 3 cards, I got now the results at the bottom of the screen. I can actually read them.
Woohoo!
That says low results 20, effect 5. Mid results 20, effect 7. High results 20, effect 8.
Okay. Now, if you were to, I don't know if it's possible with what you've got. If you are you able to select 3 that are all in the same suit?
No, just 2 are in the same suit.
Okay, and you don't have a third you could use just as a demo.
As you can see, the first 2 are the ones that you see. The third one is an 8, like the 5, but that's an 8.
Okay. All right. So when you select low, that will play them to the table. And when we've both played them to the table, boom, we see the totals up here. So
Ooh.
from this, we can see that I have done the highest result, which means that I've hit. I've also done a critical, and I've done a critical because I've managed to match the suit across all 3 cards. And that's why I got 23 there, because if you add up 8, 9, and 3, that's going to come to 20, right? But my effect card is added twice because of the critical. So I got 23. Right. And then I've done 3 damage. So I've hit and I've done 3 damage. Now, the other thing you can do with damage in particular is if you do a double value, so let's say, for example, I hit and I had a 9-3-3 on a low effect, I would actually do 6 damage. So that's another way you can kind of critical.
All right.
By essentially doubling up the card values. So that's the very basics of the system. There are other things. I can do advantage and disadvantage cards and stuff, but that's you'll pick it up easily. I think what we'll do, if I just clear that off, and now it should be asking you to discard a couple of cards.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because so basically you'll always have either 6 or 3 cards or none in your hand. So if we do that again, and yeah, I've drawn a 10. And this time, let's say you've got a skill of 6, so select 6 as your skill. We'll pretend you're super epic for a moment.
All right.
There you go. Now you should be able to see the effect of having 3 of the same suit.
All right. So I select the 3. All right. Elemental critical. Yeah. Low result 11 effect 1 crit. Mid result 13 effect 3 crit. High result 16 effect 6 crit.
Yeah. So you see your effect is doubling when you're on the crit. Just one final point: the dragon cards you do not crit with, but I do.
Because she's the dragon queen and shit.
Yeah, I don't crit on the normal elements. That's for you guys. So yeah, select your 3 cards and then click low, and hopefully, if you can, beat whatever I put out. Unfortunately, you didn't beat because you got a result of 11, and I got a result of 17.
Babes was silly good.
Yeah, I drew that 10 from the deck. So, and that is basically how the game works.
All right.
Although I've realized I've just done 10 damage as well. So you notice there are 2 special cards, high effect and always wins. Although I kind of regret calling it always wins because that's a bit of a lie. Any hand with always wins will beat a hand that hasn't got always wins. But of course, if you both play it, then and it's as normal, right? And high effect will just, whatever your actual effect is, high effect changes it to high. And as you can see there, I've done 10 damage, which will be a major wound and a minor. In fact, on some of you, it might even be 2 minor wounds. So, yeah, you die quick. All right. What I'm going to do then, I'm just going to get these cards all out of my hand by quickly
So, Giorgio, what Becky is saying is, don't worry if the nuances and everything about the way the system works doesn't get you. You won't live long enough to know.
And that's basically it, yeah. So I'm just shuffling these out of my hand.
Is that how you're going to pitch it to people at the expo when you have your own store?
Don't worry about the rules. You're not going to live long enough to use them.
Well, you won't live long enough to use them.
As long as you don't character gen, you'll be all right.
Okay, so where would you 4 normally hang out when you're meeting up?
Oh,
at the Silly Goose Tavern.
The Silly Goose Tavern. What is this, South Park?
Maybe.
No, I don't think we should go to the Silly Goose. That's going to be upsetting for our friend because he's just lost his goose farm. That's going to be a bit.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry.
That's going to peck him right to the heart. That.
I thought this was meant to be a serious game.
Well, I just named my character. How do I call them? Superius Marius. So that can be that serious.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your turn, babe. Well,
I do change my name though.
if you do it in it's your little camera window in the bottom left. There's 3 dots.
Yeah.
Took me
Cheers.
ages to work it out as well. We both of us met in the forest, or rather, I saved you from impending death. I've decided.
Or it saved you.
No, I definitely saved you.
Mhm.
What they haven't told you, what they haven't told
Talk
you,
to the
Phil,
hand.
is, what they haven't told you, Phil, is they were hit by wild geese and they just went on a rampage. What they didn't realize was they took out your entire flock while they were at it because
Obviously,
they couldn't tell the difference.
Well, my idea was if you come into the woods and started wandering around, then you probably get picked on by an animal of sorts. I hear you, dying and screaming in agony, and I come and save you.
Or he was about to, if he had continued on the path, he was about to slip down a particularly nefarious waterfall.
That's quite specific.
Well, it's more shit.
Is that how
What a
he
way to
gained
go.
his? Is that how he gained his water powers? Because the water was
Yeah.
radioactive and it bit him.
Yeah, totes.
he screamed as he was falling, and it got in his mouth, and he swallowed it.
So I'm just being a dumbass. All right, that's fine.
A damn ass.
Is this the high watermark of this adventure? That's the amount of
Yeah,
fun
it's all downhill from here.
Or downstream.
or downstream.
High five.
Water always flows downhill.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah. So either of those, I'm happy with. But then the
Steve-
point is that we meet the two of you after. So
Steve asks, when does Troll Bridge happen? The trolling hasn't stopped.
Well, yeah. Hear ye, says a crier. Celestial wind in the harbour, celestial wind approaching the harbour. Now, Imperia at this point is gone, basically because the Nostrum ships are so overdue and the city is so broke, people are starting to go hungry. So this is causing a huge stir and people are moving out towards the harbour to see the ship come in.
How many days overdue is it now?
That's a
This
week.
one is a week overdue, but the
week
previous
overdue.
2 boats haven't come in.
Haven't
the
come in at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so the city is like there's barely any money flowing at all. It's like crime has gone up, people are starving. So, do you follow the crowd toward the harbour?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go and see the
Guess so,
spectacle.
yeah.
Okay, as you're heading down the road towards the harbour and you're on a cobbled street in a kind of a merchant area as you sort of leave your tavern and head towards the harbour front, and you're kind of going past these shops on the cobbles, and from behind a carriage is approaching, and the carriage is being in front of it are 3 Praetorian Centaur Knights. So these are centaurs with riders, all in heavy plate armor and big weapons and stuff. And behind it is another 3, and then behind them are Praetorian Knights on foot, and then behind them are a load of flunkies. And so presumably this is the royal carriage, and it is advancing down the road sufficiently quickly that you're going to need to move to the side and wait for it to go past.
Giorgio's disappeared.
Yeah, George's just messaged to get the blue screen of death. He's having to reboot.
No.
I'll repeat the whole thing in a minute then.
I do actually have a question though. Is what I'm seeing in terms of a certain thing, like with riders, is that normal? Like, do people sometimes still choose to do that?
Yeah, we actually had that conversation, I think, this morning, actually, didn't we?
I couldn't remember if people still did it now or if it was just back in the day
few.
people chose and
A few. But there's 20 Praetorian Knights there, and 6 of them are Centaur Knights.
Okay.
So it's not like every Praetorian Knight has a Centaur.
Okay.
That's pretty high status then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, sort of.
But yeah, we'll wait for Giorgio before the car crash commences.
Okay.
I thought it was a boat coming in. When did it turn into a car?
Maybe there's a car on the ship.
One can only hope.
What? I'm so confused. Ships coming in and now they're cars. It's just it's. I know it's a fantasy realm, but seriously, no.
Well, the way this goes, the way damage goes in this, it could be sort of like counter gen and one shot all in one evening, can it?
It could be, yeah.
Remind me how many minor wounds and major wounds you can have. Is that based on
Okay, so
constitution?
yes. Minor
Right.
wounds is constitution. Major
Mm-hmm.
wounds is mortality. Now,
Oh, so I can
minor
take more
wounds.
major wounds,
you can take 3 major wounds.
but only 2 minor wounds.
Now, here's the thing: you can keep taking minor wounds beyond the 2.
Yeah.
You start accruing disadvantages.
Okay,
Major wounds,
I
you
see.
always get a disadvantage.
that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you've taken a major wound, the usual thing to do is surrender. But because players never surrender, this is why this is a fatal system.
Uh-huh.
You can take 2 major wounds in a single hit, by the way.
Okay.
It's called a mortal wound.
That sounds very ominous.
Yes. It just means you take 2 major wounds at once. It's like that serious a wound. It counts as 2.
Yeah.
Because for a human, that does kill them. For you, you're actually okay, provided you don't take another one.
Oh.
But that's 2 disadvantages. There's no. I'm not wounded at all. I'm fine. I'm still got a hit point, full strength. That doesn't happen.
So I can take 3 mortal wounds before I die.
Yeah.
You can take 3 major wounds before you die.
Oh, 3 major. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, duh. Because you'd say. Okay.
I'm not
Oh,
even
God,
sure I want to screen share that
Steven,
one.
stop it.
You see, if I put that on the stream, then I have to make the stream over 18.
It's like that we don't do that already for these streams.
It is Saturday.
No, even security guards wasn't actually adult flagged.
Oh God.
I'm surprised.
Well, to be fair, I only implied what I was going to do. I didn't actually articulate in profane vocabulary.
That's only one example of stuff that would fall under adult. There are several adult situations
yeah,
that happen per
there's
session.
like Kylie Minogue's Minge, for example, and
Don't remind me. I'm trying. I'm seeing a therapist. It would.
It was the
God.
dry scalp on it, with the
It's just the therapist is opening new things for me, let me see things in a different way. I'm just trying to get past.
It's a whole new book for the therapist.
Is Georgia aware that dragons don't crit fit? Oh yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, you told him that. Yeah.
I thought you meant dragons attacking him. I'm like, they fucking do.
No. That I mean, you did say a bit after I put it in, so I thought you just read my message.
Yeah, no, I only just caught up on the private chat because you can't have multiple things open. So
Oh,
Bad,
yeah.
Stephen. Bad. Incredibly funny, but
Hey.
bad.
Oh,
hey, there he is.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You
You're back
besotted.
now. You're back now. Okay, So I don't know exactly when you dropped off there.
If we were deciding to join the Arbor or not.
Okay, so the decision was yes. And so you make your way toward the harbour, and you're going down a street of merchant shops, basically, between the tavern you were in and the harbour front. And it's like a narrow, cobbled street type affair, when from behind, a carriage is approaching down the street. But this isn't just any ordinary carriage. It is being, in front of the carriage, it is being escorted by three Centaur Praetorian knights. So these are full plate mail knights riding on full plate mail armored centaurs with lots of weapons and shields and stuff. Behind them is another 3 Centaur Praetorian knights, followed by about 20 foot Praetorian knights. Behind them are various flunkies in 2 colours, both the royal colours of Imperia and also some green flunkies, which you've never really seen them before. And they are proceeding, but they're approaching you basically with sufficient speed that you actually need to sort of move out the way, and I strongly recommend doing that. And this carriage sort of goes past, and it's sort of gold and gilded trim, but the carriage itself is just, wood. And it carries past, and as it goes past, you see all the curtains are kind of closed and stuff. And it goes past and heads towards the harbour front, and then more people are sort of coming past. But there's kind of like this whisper of, "Is that the king? This is the king." And then there's all the flunkies sort of running past behind the carriage, and then once they're gone, it's sort of like the whole street suddenly fills back up with people all making their way down to the harbour front, and it's like behind the carriage it's just a crush of people. And you do presumably continue your way down to the harbour front.
Yeah.
And you get there, and of course you're in this throng of people, so it's kind of hard to see. Like you struggle to get to the front type thing. Which do you want to get to the front, or
are there
any particular spot?
Crates or barrels we can maybe go up and just get a bit of height over the people?
Oh yeah, everything like that people are already on, but you could of course always just kind of muscle your way in if you really want.
I'll probably just do that, but then I've got a bit more height anyway.
Yeah, what we could do is Apostolus could get really near the front, and then we could just all stand on him.
You will do no fucking such thing.
And we'd have a great view.
Do you want me to be killed? No. You're not standing on my back. I've told you this before, you fuck.
Okay, if it wasn't
Jason
adult,
is playing Giorgio.
if it wasn't adult content before.
No, I am seriously impressed. That was the best Giorgio impersonation yet.
Let my point got across.
Okay, we'll just try and muscle our way to the front then. And
okay, being as you've got weapons and armor on you, and not everyone has, although some people do. You do kind of, and of course you've got the might of a centaur kind of sort of barging its way through as well. You do, after a period of time, manage to muscle your way to the front, but just before you get to the front, there's like this moment where it just felt like the light of the explosion was just blocked out for a second as something went overhead. And by light of the explosion, what I mean by this is there is no sun, because your world fragment is flying through the universe at the speed of light, being lit and warmed by the explosion that destroyed it. Yeah. So as the world fragment tumbles, you kind of get a pseudo day and then a pseudo night type thing. Because you got all this sort of reds and yellows and oranges and blacks in the sort of sky above from the explosion where your world was destroyed. There are no seasons in this world. This place, Imperia, it's like permanent autumn essentially. There's plants that have evolved to kind of deal with that. But yeah, you're always in a sort of like yellow and red leaves kind of thing.
It seemed
Anyway,
appropriate.
yeah, it just felt poetic for the story of the Empire and how it's all like a shadow of its former self, to put it in.
Well, I was thinking more of the fact that we're falling.
Oh, are you? Not yet. I haven't thrown you off anything.
The world is tumbling and
Oh, I see.
falling through, and it's constantly fall.
It is for you. That is true. If you're going to use the American word for autumn.
I'm just saying the irony is it's there.
So yeah, for a moment it felt like the explosion wasn't there as something went overhead, and then you get to the front and you can see the celestial wind coming into the harbour. It's sort of just rounded the harbour bar and it's on its way in, and you can see descending on it now is this gigantic dragon-esque like thing. Now, does anybody have xenology?
No, I do not.
Nope.
Okay, so it's a big dragon-like thing that descends on the celestial wind. It's got huge wings, huge tail, huge claws, and it descends on the deck of that boat and it impacts it. And then it's like 3 seconds later, you hear the crack as it impacted the deck. And it's just sort of this moment where the boat kind of just goes, and then you sort of see the front and the back of the boat begin to kind of separate as this dragon thing kind of wraps itself around the deck, and there's some thrashing. You hear the mast crack, and then you hear it about 3 seconds later, but the mast tumbles over, and then you hear the crack of it, and there's some snapping sounds of high tension ropes, and then as soon as it started, this dragon kind of takes off, kind of spirals up, and then flies back over the city. And then as it's kind of coming towards the harbour to sort of fly over the city, it kind of comes down in altitude toward the harbour front where you are standing. So it's almost coming directly at you.
Casually move out of the way.
And as you try to, and you're kind of got the throngs of people kind of just in the way. Some of them start jumping over the harbour front and into the water as this thing approaches, because there's a bit of a panic. You're feeling the crush of people from behind as they're kind of just trying to push their way somewhere, anywhere, in panic and fear of this thing, when someone is actually trying to climb onto Apostolos's back.
Oh, here we go. Here we fucking go. Well, obviously, I'm going to do something.
Swinging.
Sorry, I had to. So yes, you're going to do something, Jason. And Jojo?
No, I was asking Apostolos if we need to start swinging at someone.
Oh, as in the person trying to get on, do you mean? Or something else?
Yeah. If we need to put
Yeah,
them back in line, if they're scared. Nobody will notice they died of an axe.
Can I
right to the
see?
face.
Well, can I see who it like? Is it like a small, like a teenager or a kid? Is it an adult?
You can feel like there's crush all around you, but you can feel hands climbing onto your back. If you want to take the time to sort of look first, you can, or you could just reflex attack behind.
No, I'll reflex with my pillow.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to make this a skill test of difficulty 0 against the person assailing you.
Okay.
Because they're completely unprepared for this, which means I'm going to play cards from my hand. You, of course, are making an attack roll. And I'm going to play... Let me see. What have I got?
That's not brilliant, actually. Not really a chance of a crit, but... could do a fuck ton of damage, though, if I do beat you.
Where's my... Oh, window. There we go. Oh, I should get the cards up on screen, shouldn't I? There we go.
Oh, I don't know. Do I do it that way?
Generally, for a bit of advice, you want to be hitting numbers in the 20s as your total.
Yeah, I know. Problem is, it's either high dragons or shit everything else.
We don't necessarily need to crit in this situation. You're not in a protracted fight.
No.
And dare I say, in a situation like this, and this is where I'm slightly gaming the system, but sod it. I would almost say in a situation, it might be worth the chance to get rid of some of those dragons now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so no armor presumably. So is this a soft?
It'll be against a soft target, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So. Meh.
Okay, that is a tie.
Oh fuck!
So as you try to poke what's behind you, as it's trying to climb on board, but that actually is it the pilum you're using?
Yeah, pilum.
Yeah, the end actually kind of bends a bit as it strikes the target because it's quite soft metal on a pilum, so it loses one quality.
Oh god! I mean, I wasn't going for big quality for the pilum, but even so, not in the first roll.
First attack. You aren't particular as it strikes him. It's obviously it's caught something behind it that's hard and kind of just bent the end, and you'll have to straighten it later, and it, of course now be weaker. But the person behind you also kind of ends up kind of fumbling and sees that obviously this was a mistake, and whoever it was, by the time you then kind of to see what's going on, you can't work out who it was in the crowd. And then
shit.
The dragon type creature comes up over the harbour front, and it's just like it flies over you all with about 18 inches to spare as it's kind of lifting off above you. I don't know if anybody wants to kind of take a wild swing as it comes past or not, but if you're going to do so, this is perhaps your one opportunity to do so.
No, I am going to duck and get my ass.
I'm ducking. I'm ducking, of course.
You don't want to upset it in the first 5 minutes.
Exactly. It's a very simple. It's a very simple thing. If you want the representative of your deity, if you want your deities to continue to excuse your bad behavior, you don't piss the representative of your deity off. It's a very good rule.
Now,
sorry, I can't hear you over all the shits getting on my back.
The thing flies over, and then it kind of, because it's at low altitude, it very quickly goes out of view over a warehouse. And then there is a kind of a murmur from the crowd. Just, is that the Queen of Moraine? That was the Queen of the Moraine. That was a dragon. And the panic is so kind of pressed into the crowd that like people are dispersing or trying to get away. You can hear that there's commotions as the press of the crowd is actually causing, you think, injuries further up near one of the exit roads. However, the eagle-eyed among you will spot that the king has gotten out of his carriage, and the queen, who's there as well, and they are both looking at this thing, and they're kind of like, you can see they're just in sort of shock and disbelief. And he then starts to try to sort of address the crowd. He's like, and he's kind of shouting, but you can't hear him from where you are because you're kind of too far away at the moment. But it looks like he's trying to calm the crowd. What do you guys do?
What's happening to the ship? Is it going down? Is it?
Yeah, it's going down. The rear actually disappeared really quickly. The front is just kind of still bobbing there, and you can see there's people in the water. Some of them are, well, there's a couple of bodies. There's lots of nostrum flower, which is now spoiled in the water. And there's a couple of people kind of splashing. And you're not sure if they're swimming or dying.
There aren't any like smaller boats heading out to them at the moment, are there?
There aren't currently, but there's quite a few people in the water just here as well, where people threw themselves in rather than be killed by a dragon.
Stephen, I have given the lethality of this system, I think there's a very good chance we might shoot and kill the king, which means B, this scenario is going to be even shorter because we're going to be very dead very quickly. But it's a nice idea.
I think I'm a bit concerned if I'm too close to the water, I'm going to fall in at this rate, which is obviously not great for my nice hoofy legs. So I'm going to, yes, I'm going to try and kind of back away a bit and maybe try and make my way more over to where the king is and what he's trying to say.
Are there any mooring ropes?
Sure.
Nearby. I'm just thinking if there's mooring ropes and tethers and so on, trying to sort of throw them out to the people.
Okay.
The people who are in the water, to give them something to sort of grab onto and sort of pull themselves to the side of the key.
If you want to make, let's see how many people you save. It will be the low effect of an acrobatics check.
Oh boy. Right. So does that determine how many cards I use?
Your acrobatic skill will determine how many cards you use. Yeah. I'm going to make it a skill test of difficulty 0, though.
Oh boy. I really just want to. I just want to get high cards.
Well, you're not done bad with some of the cards you just
you haven't.
Onto the table, to be honest.
Better than what I got.
I think I just want to. Hold on.
Because you can easily crit with wind or earth if you've got an extra one. Or air.
Really, to save lots of people, you want to get double low, don't you?
Hmm.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay. Click your low button when you've selected your 3. Boom. Yep, you succeed. You save 12 people. Wow, you critted it. Nice. And I'm going to grant an advantage card for the mooring ropes. So if you want to use that 5, you can. So you could resubmit your 3, which is necessary when doing an advantage card. So you have to resubmit it. But assumedly you don't want to use that 5, so all you need to do to resubmit the same 3 is deselect and reselect one, and it will give you the button back.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. So yeah, you save 12 people out the harbour mouth by throwing these mooring ropes down, and there's a couple of burly men that kind of come along to once they sort of follow your lead and start doing the same. And so, yeah, you actually rescue everyone that jumped in near you, which was where most people who did choose to jump in did so, were near you, because you were where the dragon flew over. Meanwhile, the rest of you head over toward where the king is trying to talk to people, and you kind of come over at the point where he's saying, I know it looks bad, but this is a situation we can solve. There are adventurers in this city who will step forward now in our time of need and be greatly rewarded for restoring the Nostrum trade.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say hello, Fajuk.
Hello, Fajuk.
Hi, Fajuk.
Don't mind me sleeping over here. I think you must have just got back from work.
Oh, in fact, what am I saying? I won't have heard them because I'm over at the flipping harbour.
Mm.
I want to hear them. Sorry.
Yes. Adventurers will be. We may even have some here. I see somebody over there wearing a full suit of armor. Are you an adventurer? And then somebody steps forward and he says, "Yes, I am from the." This is important. I get this right. The Order of the Heart mission. Loyal subjects to the Empire. And we will slay that beast and restore the Nostrum trade. And what you notice about this person is they clearly have elven ears.
Oh, goody.
Okay, so they're on the drug anyway.
Yeah. Would we actually know what the Nostrum trade is, actually?
Yeah. You're
Okay.
from Imperium. It's actually not. It's kind of almost looked down upon taking the drug if you're Imperial because, like, there's no money in the Empire for doing that. It's sort of like it's almost sneered at. Because like to do like it's like you're taking away potential exports, you know. And we're desperate for cash.
Mhm.
Come on, kitty. Come on. Oh, right, you are coming in. Okay. So yeah, this elven guy steps forward. Yeah, we order of the Heart mission will slay this beast. And this is great. Well, and you're elven kind. So I mean, to be a mercenary and live long means you're a good mercenary. You see people. All is not lost. Do you want to step forward yourselves?
This is a big fucking dragon we're talking about here.
It is a big dragon.
Yeah.
I am desperate for money to continue my studies, so yes, I will.
Okay, you
Yeah,
step
fine.
forward.
I step forward too.
Yes, we'll help. We'll restore the trade.
You get help from me also.
And at that point, Celius kind of runs up as well. All your friends are signing up to something, so it must be obviously something important. It's in front of the king. You don't miss out that.
I go and look at what they're actually signing themselves up for.
You've no idea you missed that part of the conversation. But
Yeah,
assuredly, if you don't speak up now,
First of the three of them I get to is what are you signing for? What have you put yourself forward for?
Restoring the trade.
It's wine, women, and song. Just say yes.
Wine, women, and song, eh? Yeah, I love that.
and another group of adventurers over here. Are you part of the same Order of the Heart mission? And this elf goes, no. These are just rank amateurs. We will beat them to the dragon. You don't want to work together?
You need to file your ears a little more. They're not quite pointy enough.
No, you see, his tongue makes up for
Yes,
their ears.
yes.
Uh-huh.
I see. Yes, you are right.
For impeaching my honor, I would normally duel you, but I have more important matters to attend to. And he
No. We
turns
just
to walk
impeach
away.
your appearance, not your honor.
What you do notice about him, though, is that he is wearing full plate mail, and you can see he's wearing a sword at his hip, but you can't obviously see the sword itself, but you can tell from the handle that it is a quality blade. Like the engraving and filigree artwork on the handle is like really quite nice.
A racist horse.
It was both of us.
Stephen, it's just an expansion. I mean, We thought he was going to play a racehorse. Turns out it's a racist horse. It's just a slightly different thing.
You've seen what happens though when people try and climb up on me, though.
Yeah, you get the hump.
And so you, so where was I? Yes. So he kind of heads off, presumably to, gather the rest of his mercenaries. And so the king kind of looks at you and says, what is your organization called? Where are you from? Do you also represent a church?
We represent
No.
many churches.
I represent no church. What? No.
We're what you would call a multi-faith
I have no
expedition.
faith. It's no.
We're a bit of a privateer organization.
I'm sorry. Apostolus,
Yes.
come here, down here. Do you believe?
Yes, I can see you from here.
Do you believe that we have a chance of actually succeeding in this mission?
If anything, I actually pull you up to my level rather than the other way around.
Okay. Do you believe that we actually have a chance of completing this mission?
Deep down, no.
See, I was trying to find some faith in you, or that you had faith in us. You're letting me down, Matt. Don't really let me down. Just lower me gently.
But do you have a name, says the king?
No, we haven't picked a name.
We do not.
We are the Fearless Four.
The Fearless Four, right?
No. Oh.
Well, if the scribes can take that down. Now, who is the most observant amongst you? Who has the highest urban exterior skill?
Not me.
Urban exterior. I have a
Nope.
one.
I'm all for the wilderness.
So it's Quintus who notices that at this point the queen is whispering something into a flunky's ear, having some kind of conversation with the flunky. You can't hear it from where you are, but the flunky kind of acknowledges and runs off. And specifically, it was one of the green-clothed flunkies, not one of the ones in the royal colours of purples and gold.
I suppose we haven't got a chance to follow, and because we haven't been dismissed from the royal presence yet. I take it.
Well, you're about to be. He says, I will have the Fearless Four noted down in the annals of history. So
The what?
In the what?
Don't. Just let it go behind you. Just.
It's probably accurate.
Just look. No, forget that. Just crack on. Just let's go.
Crack on.
Maybe for you three.
Shit. It's been so long since I GM'd, I thought I was doing the security guards.
Well, I mean, we can do epic fantasy and still have tongue slightly in cheek.
Okay. So you will slay the beast and restore the trade, and everything will be great. Or the Order of the Heart Mission will. Either way is fine.
At this point, when I hear the phrase "slay the beast," I now turn round to my comrades. What beast? Tell me it isn't something that was big-winged and frightening and here just a small while ago.
And whichever of you is successful will be granted lordship over Throne Reach.
And we shall be going.
Is the weird creature you saw earlier?
I don't care. The Lord of the Lord thing has trumped it all.
Yeah. Also, we are already being written up in the annals. So
In the annals
I
of
don't.
history,
I don't
yes.
want anybody writing on my anus.
I'll
No.
make a note of that as well.
On
But
his anus.
the Queen was talking to one of the green clad servants, and he's run off. So if she's from Moraine, she might have some contacts there with the Queen.
She's from Moraine.
Yes, she is. Yes, she's married the she's a blue blood from Moraine, isn't she? She married the king.
I come from the forest. I have no idea. You all you don't look the same. I'm getting better at distinguishing,
Oh,
but close.
there's notices up about the wedding everywhere.
Oh, there is. I don't know. I can't read. It all looks like squiggly lines to me.
Okay. Yes, well there are. Yeah, and the announcement about the wedding. Yes. She's from Moraine. Yes, she has dragon blood.
Oh, huh.
So
It
there
is funny
might-
she has not said anything about a big dragon. Is it her pet? Or her grandmother?
yeah, grandmother, or auntie, or something. Very possible.
yeah, maybe cousin.
But she sent this
Oh.
flunky to do something.
Maybe the queen is the dragon's rider. That would make sense. Or her lover, or possibly both. Yes, that would make sense.
Yeah. Are we thinking of pursuing the flunky?
Yes.
Yes. I think it might be a
Okay.
good idea.
Let's go then.
Okay, so you start tracking the flunky through the streets of Imperia. You're first going to need to pick the trail back up because you were delayed a little bit by the king. So you're going to need to essentially do a tracking roll. Now, this is an environment skill, and it will be urban exterior. The person with the most skill in that, I believe, is Quintus. So Quintus will lead the test. Does anybody else have skill?
Yeah, Cadence.
I've got one in urban exterior.
Okay, so you, for the extra person with the skill, you'll grant one advantage card to Quintus. So you'll be getting an extra card at the end that you can decide whether to include. Again, I'm not going to put a difficulty on it. I will do it at difficulty 0. So if you set the skill test to your skill level, which I think is 1.
Is 1.
Basically, you point in a direction. I hope that the street is straight, and I gallop towards it.
Okay, skill test, yeah. Okay, 1.
Okay. And then pick the best 3 cards you can to match, basically. You know, to beat my total.
Best 3 cards. I can't crit, can I? I can't crit on that, no.
We
No, but
can't
you can
quit.
replace
If you
it.
use,
Can't crit, but you could swap that out for another one.
Well, yeah, place.
Okay, what else? That's 2. That's a good one. Okay, if I do that, and that. Is this a low?
yeah, I mean, what the effect determines here, everything is basically a low unless there's a reason for it not to be.
Okay,
So
here we go.
you'd always sort of default to low. Okay, you have succeeded. Let me just clear the table, and now it should be asking you to discard cards if necessary.
No, it's not.
Okay. No, because you used 3 cards from your hand. Ronnie didn't discard one, though, at some point.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't. Oh, sorry.
It may or may not be telling you to. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, discards.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're able to track this flunky through the streets, and the flunky doesn't go back to the palace. It actually goes to a stable.
Yeah, quick, that way, you know. Or central.
Okay.
And from that stable, a few minutes, well, they go in, and this is a royal building. So it's a royal building, and so you can't really go in it at all. It's got guardsmen, but you notice the guardsmen are all in the green colours of House Oak from the range, so in the Queen's colours. And from that stable emerges a carriage, not quite as fancy as the King's carriage, but it does have more horses. It looks like it's a fast carriage. And it then gallops back the way you came.
Sorry to break in there, Becky. It wouldn't actually let me select one.
Okay, yeah, well, it's probably because you missed the chance to do so, so don't worry about it. I haven't put any checking on that stuff yet, so yeah, it's possible to break the system. But once you're more practice with it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It was written in a day. It wasn't written to be robust. So yeah, the carriage sort of heads back off down the direction you came from, but it's going at a fair lick.
Do you think the Queen is intending on heading back to Moraine?
She could be. If this is her rider / lover, and it is on the rampage, then I would not be surprised. But why is the dragon destroying the nostrum anyway? What does it want?
And why the Queen is not able to get a hold of his ride
Exactly.
/ parent / whatever that is.
They must have had how do you say in Imperia? They must have had a domestic. Domestic means like an argument in a city, right? A domestic.
Yeah, we grasp the meaning of what you're saying. Yeah, that may be, depending on how intelligent the dragon is.
Well, I think the dragon is the Queen of Moraine, isn't it?
Yeah.
She got lucky.
Who got lucky?
Well, I thought dragons were kind of unintelligent. They are dragons. Is that not the case?
I don't think so. She runs the city, I believe.
Oh. Maybe she has an advisor. I don't know.
Do you follow the carriage?
I suppose I could try and sprint after it.
And the rest of you?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, we'll have
Okay.
to follow on behind. We're never going to be as fast as.
Yeah, you're not climbing on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
If so, I poke you off.
Violently.
I'm just wondering, actually. Given that this is the royal carriage, would it have a specific route that it would usually take from the castle to the harbour? You know, it goes a particular route that we would know, and they would just follow it.
Well, carriages usually only go down roads that are wide enough for the carriages, but
Yeah.
other than that, there's no particular restriction. This isn't
Okay.
coming from the castle, though. It's coming from a stable, but it is a royal stable. So it's a building on the verge of the, if you like, the castle or the palace, really. So it's
Given
not actually
Given
within
that,
the palace.
and sort of knowing the area, would it be possible to get ahead of it using like side streets and so on that it can't actually traverse?
Okay, make an urban exterior check, and with the advantage granted by Quintus, you will also. Oh, hang on, I forgot to do the advantage card, didn't I? But you succeeded anyway, so it's
You
fine.
did.
So yeah, let's see. I'm going to put a difficulty of 2 on it though, because this is a carriage that's going fast.
Right. So I put down 2.
No, skill test of still 1. You get an advantage card.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty much the best card. I really don't have a better card. So it's just going to be that one. And nothing's come up.
You got 3 cards selected.
No. Sorry.
That's why nothing's come up.
Low result.
Always. Yeah, you wrap your brains together, but you can't think of anything or any shorter route because basically it's going too fast.
Then you get a bonus
Oh,
card.
yeah, sorry, forgetting about the advantage. Well, that doesn't help at all.
No.
But if you could resubmit your result just so that that actually completes the test, that would be great. There we go. And then I'll clear that. And I should be talking about discarding cards now on your screen.
I'm now done 2 tests, so I should be down to 0.
Yeah, you should be. So just
Okay, that's it.
yeah. So you're basically anything you would attempt to do now when you got no cards will auto fail.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because somebody else's turn to take the reins, but then I've only got one more test to make. So yes, you indeed, yes, Giorgio has not done a test at all yet, but he might have shit cards. He might be keeping his mouth shut and waiting for a better opportunity. Who knows? So yeah, you make it to the harbour, but of course by the time you get there, the damn carriage looks like it's about to sail. The Queen is just getting on board. The rider's in place, and Apostolos, because you get there a little before the others, because you're a bit quicker. You hear the flunkies mention something about a message. The Queen's getting on board the carriage. 2 of the horses have been separated from the carriage, and flunkies are getting on them.
Okay. Thing is, if I just go straight for one of the flunkies, then the Queen's going to get pissy. I could just try and, even though I'm not really any good at social skills at all, I suppose I could be a bit more subtle and try and ride up towards one of the flunkies on horseback and just kind of try and blend and see if I can get what the message was.
Okay, so you head towards them. The rest of you are just sort of coming into the harbour area again, and you kind of like the Queen is just closing the door to, well, her door not being closed by the Queen, somebody else is closing it for her. She's getting into the carriage, and then the carriage is moving, or beginning to move off. Do you guys want to take any action there? As you see Apostolos going for the messengers. Sorry. The flunkies.
No, there's if you don't have horses, I mean that's pointless. Keep running around town like an asshole.
Yeah, we can't really stop her. We'll just end up in a fight, won't we?
Yeah, not on good terms with the guards at the very least. Like attacking the Queen's carriage, that wouldn't prove to be a smart move. Also, we don't know about the message or the funky with it. So I just slow down, coming in front of the arbor again, and maybe thinking we should go the general direction where the dragons went. If the guy from the art mission is not to be found.
Yeah, you can't see him anywhere.
All right.
So question from Steve here. Can multiple players attempting the same task combine cards? Each person helping grants an advantage card, but they have to have some skill in the task in order to do that. Unskilled person just has no real effect at all.
Okay, I have an idea as to what I'm going to say. I'm going to try and pose as a Praetorian centaur, and say that I lost my rider in the chaos and he needs to know what the message is.
Pause, because Praetorian centaurs are in full armor.
Oh yeah, fuck, they are, aren't they? I lost my armor.
Look,
Yeah, I got robbed in Halle.
that's
I'm surprised. Oh, my armor fell
I think Lost Your Rider is going to be a tough sell. Lost Rider and armor.
Yeah, I
Going to be a
know.
bit of a.
Did I see any of the green lackeys with centaurs, or were they just on regular horses?
No, they weren't even on horses before. These two have been
Okay.
separated from the carriage.
Okay. Are they riding all in front of the carriage?
Right, so there's like 6 horses on the carriage,
Yeah.
and then 2 of them, like there are 2 extra horses that flunkies are now getting on.
Oh, okay. So they haven't even set off yet. In that case, I'll
No.
just grab one of them.
Okay, you go up to him and grab him.
Whew.
Excuse me?
What is this message? I need to know the message.
Who are
I
you?
just sort of.
He says
hold
in a
him up.
thick Moranian accent.
I am
Have
somebody
decided
who's
this.
holding you off the floor and could put you in the water if you don't tell me.
Sorry, what? Are you a ruffian?
If you want to call me that,
Brigand?
yes. Tell me the message and I put you down.
The Queen kind of rides out the harbour mouth. The king's long gone, and it's like the harbour's actually pretty empty. There's not even any businesses open at the moment because, well, there's no business to do for a start because there's been no nostrum for months. And of course, there was a recent sighting of a dragon. So you're basically like these 2 flunkies just have no one there. They're like, I can't believe you're accosting us. Wait, weren't you one of the, what was it, the Fantastic Four or some shit?
Your queen and that dragon know each other. Why is this dragon attacking the nostrum? You should know.
You think that was a dragon? Oh my god, we're so screwed. That was a wyvern, you idiot.
Oh, totally different thing, I suppose.
They both have wings, same thing.
2 legs. Different thing entirely. That was what? Did you think that was the Queen of Moraine or something? Oh, this is glass. Oh, you idiots.
I throw him in the water.
And with that, we'll resume next Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're heading to a different area then.
Yep, the wyvern all along. That's what you get for not taking Xenology.
Yeah, Quintus.
Well, we couldn't, could we? Because we only had 25 points.
Exactly.
You
20.
have 2 experience points. Well, it's 1. We only played for an hour, didn't we? So you have 1 experience.
One.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
hour 40. Go on, I'll be kind. I'll give you 2.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank
Well,
you very much.
That's 2 points to spend on something.
Where?
Yeah,
There's
you
no
can also
box
save
for
them for
XP.
later. No, I haven't made a box for XP. You could use something else. Write it somewhere. I don't know. Character name bracket 2 XP.
I'll put it in equipment.
I can do you a new version of the character sheet if you like with an
No.
XP box and skill list.
I'm
Jess
writing
has just
it
taken
in the...
Jess has just taken a couple of levels in Xenology.
So that you just
Well, you
spend
can't
points.
take a couple with 2 points, can you? You can
No.
only put 1 in.
You just spend the
So
Well,
take
points.
1 point. It's 1 point a point.
Yeah, no. The first point is a point. The second point would be 2. The third point would be 3.
I'm gonna
Have
have to, yeah. No, I'm gonna
I
have
think
to,
you might need to reinvent your character
I'm gonna
sheet.
have to reinvent my character sheet. It's going to be a lot less.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
God.
That's why you get given a load of points to start with. So you're saying like I can't buy any skills here, but you do actually get given a load with the start values.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
put
I'm
quite
gonna
a few
have to-
into one just
Yeah.
for that reason.
So you level up just the same as you would by points at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly the same. So yeah, it's as you spend each point, so you can only go up 1 point at a time, obviously, in terms of the maths of doing it. So you multiply the level you're going to by the cost. So if it is a cost of 2, it would be 2 points to put 1 in it. It would be 4 points to go from 1 to
Yeah.
2. Or
Yep.
add them both together to go from 0 to 2. You know.
Basically, my character is going to be like half as good as he was, and he wasn't that much good at anything to begin with because he only had 25 points.
Welcome to the club, mate.
Deal with it.
But you got given all the essential things to start with. You know, what is your trade again?
Fucking.
Me.
What's your trade skill?
Yeah, fucking. It's a concubine.
Is that what you put? Fucking.
What is my
You can
trade
be.
skill?
Well,
It's at the bottom right, left hand side.
so on the
Trade
character sheet,
I haven't put anything in for trade skills yet.
Okay, so yeah, you decide what your trade skill is. So if you want to be a ladies' man, you could put concubine, or just
Fuck boy.
times. Whatever you want. You can
Fuck
put whatever trade skill you like can go in there. And you get 2 points in that, and that is enough to make a living. You know, if you want to be good at it, you could spend 3 points.
I'm gonna wait until I redo my points, recalculate everything before I.
Yeah. So basically, the start column is what it begins at. So the start column has got everything that you get given for free, except for the 2 environment skills. So you get 2 environments for free. Beyond that is your 25 points you spend on stuff. Poor Jason, he only had 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, he has an extra pair of legs.
Yes, no.
He does have mortality free, in fairness.
And I get my other attacks.
No. What that says is we were hamstrung. He was even more hamstrung.
But you're making out like 25 points isn't a lot. I don't.
It's not.
Look, all you need is your trade skill, and you can make a living.
Yeah. Also, that's kind of the setting.
Unfortunately, we're not doing that.
If we're not playing superheroes, that's.
I know we're playing every day, folks.
Rocket.
Rocket science in Yambik.
Yeah, all in the Yayambika. And with that, I'm going to end the stream. So,
Okay.
Good night, Steve.
Yeah. See you later, Stephen.
See you, Steve.
Bye.